So here we have the final second round match of the 1v1 tournament. Number 4 versus number 5, Ethan versus Babozo. Ethan has chosen Aztecs. Babozo has chosen Goths. So anytime in Forest Nothing there's a Siege Onager Civ versus a non-Siege Onager Civ, I basically favor the Siege Onager Civ, which is what this is. Ethan gets fully upgraded Siege Onagers. Garland Wars gives his infantry +4 attack. Even without the castle upgrade, his military will create faster. Goths also have faster creating infantry, but they don't get the final defense upgrade. So the Aztec champions will be far, far stronger. Goths need a ton of eco because their barracks produce at an insane rate, and their people die very quickly. Here we have Ethan doing a 15 population feudal age. Babozo doing a 16 population feudal age. Giving Ethan all the gold he needs to get to the next age and part of Imperial Age. Same with Babozo. So Ethan is on his way to Castle Age. He'll be there right around the 11th minute. 22 villagers. Babozo's up to 23. Ethan likes to do 2 town centers, where most people will go to 3. You use less food that way, so you get to Imperial Age faster. Babozo's researching Bowsaw. Hand cart. So now I'll probably delete both of those, build a town center. Or, oh right, he always builds his production buildings first. Now he'll delete those, build a town center. See what I mean about going to 3 town centers? So Babozo is behind by 10 villagers. Ethan has his siege workshop, and he had a monastery. So he has everything he needs to get to Imp. And he's on his way there. He's going to be there about 17.5 minutes. Now he's just waiting for the resources to research Onager. There we go, researching Onager, which will give him the Onager upgrade at the 19th minute. So he gets onager by the 19th minute. And he's on his way to, well, to Babozo. Babozo's up to 62 villagers. Ethan's building a 4th town center. He's got to get his eco up and running. Babozo is queued up Imperial Age, but it's behind. There we go. Now he's researching it. Fifth town center for Ethan. Barracks. Babozo getting some barracks up as well. Some houses, some upgrades. For the villager count, Ethan's got 10 more. 8 of them are idle, because he's got 5 town centers to Babozo's 3. Babozo also doesn't have the siege workshop out, so he's not cutting to build more houses. He's not cutting to build more production buildings. He's basically letting Ethan cut to him, which I don't like doing, because you're just letting him get the whole way to you, and you're not having a ton of production buildings, because he's going to have.
But nay.
He's got 5 barracks, building a castle for Jaguar warriors. Now he's getting his siege workshop. Luckily for Babozo, Ethan's not quite going the right direction. If Ethan had gone the right direction, they would already be fighting. Ethan has 200 max pop to Babozo's 160, so Babozo wouldn't really be able to fight back. Alright, Ethan has now spotted Babozo. So you can see how Ethan has the stronger position, right? Babozo still has no siege out. He's only got 2 barracks. I haven't seen a blacksmith. Oh, there's a blacksmith for upgrades. University. And now he can see Ethan coming. But Ethan's got a bunch of barracks. He's got 6 there, got a couple more up there. So he's got 9 total barracks. He's got some siege workshops. He's building a wall to keep Babozo from just sending units into his base. Fully upgraded siege onager, getting siege ram, chemistry, researching eagle warrior. He's making some eagles and some champions. Deleting villagers. You can see his villager count going down. So Goths have bombard cannons, and they have infantry. That's basically all they have. Alright, Babozo's building enough houses. I would have just gone with champions, because champions have a bonus versus eagles. That's how fast you can be overrun by Gothic infantry, but Ethan's got more resources for gold. Well, actually, Babozo's got a ton of resources for gold. He just needs to sell all that wood. But let's do farm count. 24 farms to 50 farms. So because Babozo didn't expand and didn't build more farms, he doesn't have the food to keep up the Gothic production. Also, Goths get heavy scorpion. When you're fighting against this many champions, you probably want to use some scorpions. A couple siege rams. If they get to those houses, Babozo's population is going to drop drastically. Most of Babozo's production buildings are gone. Ethan's building his forward production buildings, and good game is called. So, I've seen one game this entire tournament where the person who got cut 2 was able to push back and win. And that was when Babozo was Huns versus Vegeta's Khmer, because Vegeta didn't do this. He didn't build a ton of production buildings along the way. So that was game 1. Number 4 seed Ethan took the victory. Now we should be moving on to Babozo's home map. He's chosen Forest Prison. In Forest Prison, you have a non-conventional start. You never know what your starting base is going to look like. Babozo has chosen Huns. So Huns automatically give you the max population. And Ethan has chosen Portuguese. Okay, this is a non-conventional matchup. I think Ethan has decided that since he won game 1, he could try a not great Civ and see how that works. So they're each going to probably try to get as many farms in as they can. So probably between 7 and 10. Ethan does have to build houses where Babozo does not. So Babozo got lucky with the placement of those trees in the town center. Because sometimes the town center is like right in the middle, and you have to walk to the trees, but because his trees were right there, he didn't need a lumber camp right away. He does need a lumber camp before he can click up to feudal, however. So Ethan's on his 9th farm, and I think he could put like 3 more. I think. Ethan also got a nice area for his town center. He's gonna build his lumber camp so he can click up to the next age. And he just let those farms expire because he needs the wood when he gets to feudal age to sell. So wheelbarrow, double bit axe, put up the market so he can sell some wood, which he hasn't done yet. There we go. Babozo's nearing feudal age. Villager count is essentially the same. Babozo has one more villager. Now it's exactly the same. Babozo to castle age. Ethan to castle age. I think we're going to see basically the same thing. Ethan's going to build a second town center when he gets the room. And then for Babozo, I'm expecting he'll build like 5, 6 town centers. Because he's Huns, he doesn't need houses, so he can just blast villagers out. So I expect Babozo will get to max population. Where Ethan still needs to focus on houses. So he can't go to 4 town centers right away. So Babozo's probably going to try to use cavalry. Paladins and hussars and maybe some cav archers. I think Ethan is going to use halberdiers and Portuguese are the ones with the bombard cannon upgrade. Yeah, they get the ballistics for their bombard cannons. This is a slow imp time for Ethan. 19-minute imp time. But he does have the resources to research Onager right away. So, still has Onager by 20 minutes. So I guess he's going to eject those 2 and start cutting his way towards Babozo. Babozo's up to 5 town centers. And he had stopped making villagers for some reason. He does have a 40 villager lead, but he does need to see that Ethan's in Imperial Age, and he needs to research Imp soon himself. Ethan with the Fatoria. A second Fatoria. Kind of makes me wonder if he's just going to build a third Fatoria. No university for upgrades yet. He has, however, chosen the correct way to go this time. Okay, so Babozo's now in Imperial Age, getting his upgrades. Ethan is nearly to him, with 4 Vittorias. He doesn't see Babozo yet, but he has picked a really good time to start placing production buildings. Alright, now he sees him. Babozo does not see Ethan. But he does have production buildings and he's getting researches. Alright, so Babozo did not get to max population. Now he can see Ethan. Ethan's economy, honestly I couldn't tell you if it's good or bad. He does have 4 Vittorias, but he's got 9 farms. Is that enough? I have no idea. Is that trade carts? Yes, Babozo's decided to make trade carts. That must have been a misclick. So, Huns cannot make onager, so Babozo can't just use one shot to knock down those trees, which is why Ethan has decided to go backwards and make as many production buildings as he can. Ethan's decided to just wall off the front area and let Babozo try to come to him. That gate is not finished. There we go, so... Oh... That wall also isn't finished, so he can just walk right through. I'm just curious to see if Ethan will destroy those Vittorias. Looks like we're getting Siege Ram, Cap Ram from Babozo. Hand cannons from Ethan. Hand cannoneers have a great bonus versus infantry. Looks like Babozo's going to try to start taking down production buildings and stuff. At this point, I'm not sure whether taking down those Vittorias will be a good or a bad thing for Babozo, because it'll clear up a lot of population space that Ethan can use. 7. Ethan built 8 Vittorias. Babozo as Huns has a ton of resources. But now Ethan has a bunch of hand cannoneers, which will absolutely destroy two-handed swordsmen. Babozo needs to use his siege to knock this down, because this little choke point with his hand cannoneers is extremely deadly. Ethan built another most of a wall, but there is a path through. Babozo needs to build some siege rams or something to knock down those gates so he can get through. Sell your 50,000 wood. Get some gold. Ethan's gonna come back and build his forward production buildings again. He's down to 6 Fattorias, which is probably a good thing. He's got like no resources, but if Babozo could take out those hand cannoneers and those skirmishers, this game would be over. Look at those infantry just dropped those hand cannons. Massed hand cannons are a very hard thing to fight. Babozo's down to 15 farms? That's Ethan. Alright, Babozo's at 38 farms. You could probably just overwhelm this in sheer numbers. Why don't you just build more production buildings and just overwhelm them? Use champions or two-hand swordsmen on this side. And then spam something else on this side. Even a couple mangonels would be pretty good. I wonder if I'm going to see some bombard cannons come in to start taking down production buildings. If Babozo had continuously fought at max population, like, why is he only producing from a couple things over here? Why not? If you send 150 units at this, I guarantee you'd be able to take it down. I mean, it wouldn't be a good kill-death ratio, but it's better than only having, like, 20 military out on the field. Now Ethan's building bombard towers. Ethan still has basically no resources. So if you could push this back right here, this little bit, get some siege rams out for the bombard towers or trebuchets, you could push this. Wouldn't be really fun, but you could totally push this. Ethan has a military of 80. Babozo's military is like 20. Babozo, why did you start making military? Do you not know how to shift click? You have all these production buildings and you're barely producing. Now, with the way Babozo's playing, I don't see a way that he wins this match, or this game. Ethan's been at max pop this whole time, and Babozo's been fighting with like 20 military this whole time. And at this point, Ethan's military is mostly skirmishers and halberdiers. So you could make a bunch of two-handed swordsmen. Well, Ethan went and sent military buildings down there. I mean, he's got what? 5 town centers? Send more villagers to get resources. And make more military. He's got 13 barracks down there, plus 2 up there. He could overwhelm this with sheer numbers. And Babozo quits. Once the Portuguese players reinforced with that many bombard towers, it's going to be really hard to fight. But Babozo was fighting with like 30, 40 military almost that whole time. Ethan didn't have a great economy. The Fetorias looked really weak because he wasn't... Like, if it had been constant max population for Babozo, he would have overwhelmed the numbers that Ethan could have produced. But as it stands, Ethan wins. Ethan moves on to round 3. Alright, real quick, bring up the brackets. So the brackets, Ethan wins 2-0, which puts him in the semifinals. My prediction is Ethan is going to beat me in the next round. And I don't know who's going to win between this. This is going to be a really good match, but I think Alistair is the faster player. So I think Alistair will come out on top, and I think Ethan's going to take it all. Will that happen? I don't know. We'll see. Either way, the next round should be all really good games.